Hey guys, Josh Carter here with One Objective Outdoors. In today's video, we're going to be talking about jerkbait fishing, so stay tuned. Alright guys, like I said at the beginning of this video, we're going to be talking about jerkbait fishing. This is one of my favorite techniques, even before the whole live scope and all that stuff came into play. This is something that me and James have thrown, well, we used to throw it all the time, and like once December through March was like our bread and butter. That's what we love to throw. It was a Lucky Craft in Table Rock or some other kind of like shad color. So but we've changed up. We still throw Lucky Crafts, we throw Mega Bass, we throw Berkley Stunnas, we throw 6 Cents Provokes. We throw a little bit of everything, and we have reasons for each thing, or situations for each bait. So it's good to have like just a variety of different baits to throw. But here lately I've been throwing the Berkley Stunna. This is in Table Rock. It's been a great bait. The only issues I've had with this bait so far is just maybe it's just weak spots or whatever I happen to get them, but in the back here they'll break. I don't have another one on my boat, but to show you when I broke that one. But they are pretty tough baits. I've hit docks before. We all do it when you're working a jerkbait bomb and not had no issues. Now I have shattered them. When you hit a metal one really good and smack it pretty hard, I've broken them like that, which no bait's gonna hold up to that. So so my biggest thing with jerkbait fishing is having the right setup. That's to help you get the right depth you need. That's to help you get good hook sets, and it's also to help you get them in the boat. And a lot of that is going to play with your rod. Your rod is the biggest key factor to this, I think. This is a Shimano X-Bride. This is a 610 medium, and it's super light rod, but it's got enough tip on it where you can really sling a jerkbait out there. Also help you get it down deeper, but you want that soft tip, so when you're popping it, it don't have that, like if you have a heavy action rod, you're gonna pull it through the water so much faster, and you're not gonna be able to keep it down there in that strike zone, or just do like little twitches with it. Where medium, when you do those little twitches, it might just be slight movements. With a heavier action rod, it's gonna pull it further through the water. So and then I also go down to a smaller line. I know some people like throwing 12-pound. I'm a 10-pound test kind of guy. Now if I'm gonna get around like a lot of laydowns and all that, I might go up to 12. But if I'm open water or just right beside docks and stuff like that, a lot of times I'm just using 10. And the reason why I do that is to get the maximum depth I can out of it. I use 10-pound Sniper fluorocarbon, and it is with the Sunline Sniper. Just phenomenal line, super strong, super tough. I love that line. So but that's basically what I use for that. This is the Shimano Corrado. This is a 6:2 to 1 gear ratio. I don't think you need no super high-end gear ratio, because if not, you're gonna be working the bait way faster than you need to. The 6:2 gives it that right gear ratio too, that when they come and hit it, and sometimes they'll hit it and run to you, you can catch up to them quick enough and set the hook and get them in a boat. But this is the perfect setup. I really like the X-Brides. We used Falcon, we've used regular G Loomis rods, and so far the X-Bride has been golden. I actually want to get me a couple more of these so I can play with a couple of different have more different jerk baits on there instead of the one that I have right at the moment. So when it comes down to your jerk baits, there's so many different baits out there. They got different dive depths and all that, and all of them will tell you that they all dive to 5 or 7 or 8 or 10. And that's the good thing about live scope now, is you can actually go in there and see what those baits are diving to. I got certain baits that I can get right at 8 foot out of. I got certain baits that I can barely get 5 to 7 foot out of it. But they all have different areas where they'd be great. When you're working a lot of shallow water, you don't want to have those baits. So live scope has been key for us on that, and just kind of figuring out what your baits run. So and I like to take a Sharpie sometimes on a lot of these different brands, and I'll write on the bottom like what I'm getting out of it. Now there's things you can do to get more depth. You can go with a little bit heavier hook in the front. You can go with suspend dots. There's just some people will take a little bit of wire and thin wire and wrap around the hook just to get a little bit out of it. It also helps it suspend better. Some baits suspend better than others. But I mean, you know, there's just different things. I mean, this right here, this is the 6 cents Provoke. You see, this is a little bit wider body, or a taller body, shall I say. This is a great bait, though. I've caught right many fish off of that. You got also here, this is a good thing to show you, is you got your regular divers, and then you got your +1s. So this is a 6 cents, but this one is a +1, so you can see that it's got that little bit bigger, ow, hooks are sharp. It's got that little bit bigger, longer bill on it. So you can get just a little bit more depth out of it. And like I say, changing down to smaller line, adding suspendants, all that stuff, it will help you get maximum depth out of those. But also how you work it. If you're really popping it on tight line, where I like to have slack line when I pop it, it really helps. For me, it seems like it really helps that bait get down there deeper when I got slack line and kind of popping it. You know, I reel a little bit, put a little bit of slack in the line, and just kind of easy popping it. That's where that medium action really helps, because it's got a lot of give in it, so you're not really pulling it that far through the water. Another thing too is when you're ordering baits online, for instance, each bait company has their different ways of doing certain colors, and the biggest one to me is table rock. So this is Berkeley Stunner's table rock. This is Lucky Craft's table rock. I mean, there's a big difference. Both got purple, but this one's got a little more chartreuse on the side. This is more of a bone color, and it's got a pink on the bottom, where this one's got orange on the bottom. Now, I do like baits that's got orange on the bottom, but also certain Lucky Crafts that we've had. Here's one right here as well, and I don't know if you can tell this in the camera or not, but this one, oh man, I got them all hung up now. Oh man, I don't know if you can see that or not in the camera. This one's actually got more chartreuse in it than this one. It's got a little bit more, it's more of that greenish tint to the bone. So a lot of times if we got those and I wanted more down to that bone color, I take them and lay them on the dash of my truck and let them fade out. So, but there's so many different colors, there's so many different brands out there. Just get you a couple, work with them, and see, you know, what you like best and the conditions that you fish. Because I mean, if you fish a lot of stuff with a lot of grass, you might not want them deep divers. There's just so many different baits out there, and they run so many different ways, different depths, and all that stuff. So not all jerk baits are the same. Even when it comes to, you know, you got 3 different stunners, I can get sometimes one will run a little bit deeper than the other. So this is another one. This is a table rock. This one is a Megabass, and you can see right here I got the red hook on that one. I'll change them up sometimes, put a red hook on it on the front or the center or whatever. I feel like it ups my confidence a little bit. Maybe it helps, I don't know, but I've caught a lot of fish on there with a red hook. So, but I hope this helped you out a little bit with just, you know, jerk baits and, you know, what lines you need to run, what's a good rod setup, and all that stuff. So if it did help you, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Also comment down below what your favorite jerk bait setup is. Other than that, guys, talk to you later. See ya.